Hi, and welcome to my slightly delayed Tesla Model 3 reveal vlog. So I said I'd do one after I'd watched the reveal, but due to extreme Model 3 fatigue by getting up early for the deposit and then once again for the reveal, I couldn't be bothered yesterday doing this because I was so tired. So yes, I'm going to watch the reveal again that Elon Musk did, and and kind of, put my thoughts up there really, about what I think. I'm not going to go through the whole entire video and say, oh, that bit's good, that bit's good. I'm just going to kind of pick up anything relevant really, or whatever comes into my head. So let's see what's happening. There's Mr. Musk. I'm going to skip all the eco babble at the front, I think.
Welcome everyone.
I will show this though because it's mega cool. And he's going on about the Model X. Wow. Obviously, for those that don't know, that's the Model X, which is out, well, in America now. It's not out in the UK until the end of this year, again, apparently. So then he eventually gets to the Model 3. Okay.
Let's move to describing. Well, so let's show the master plan again. Okay, so Tesla, that safety has to come first. We care about you. We want you to be safe. We want your friends and family to be safe. This is paramount. The Model 3 will not just be 5-star on average, it'll be 5-star in every category.
So I guess that's relatively important. 5-star. I presume that's American ratings, 5-star in all categories. Never a bad thing, I suppose.
And even the base Model 3 will do 0 to 60 miles an hour or 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in less than 6 seconds.
Now, this is obviously quite important for most people. So the base model is going to be 0 to 60 in less than 6 seconds, which in itself I'd be more than happy with. I mean, as an example, the brand new Golf GTI, petrol Golf GTI, not the GTD, does 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds. So the base model's acceleration should be that of the equivalent Golf GTI, which is pretty good, and that's the base model. So obviously the quicker models will be even faster than that. So the original predictions of the higher end Model 3s being as fast as a BMW M3 seem to be probably fairly accurate.
At Tesla, we don't make slow cars. And of course, there will be versions of the Model 3 that go much faster. And in terms of range, the range will be at least an EPA rating of 215 miles.
Right, so 215 miles minimum charge for the Model 3, which in the real world will probably equate to about 180. You could probably get above 200 quite easily if you drove economically the entire time, based on that EPA rating. I think the EPA rating of the Leaf is 83 miles. I might be wrong on that one, so it's just coming from what's up here. So I would definitely expect, because he does go on to say that they expect to exceed this.
I want to emphasize these are minimum numbers. We hope to exceed them.
As I just said. So basically, I would say you should be easily be able to get close to 200 out of the base Model 3. But as I suggested, that it could be more than that. They might do a bigger battery version, so it could be 220, 30 miles maybe, which should be more than enough for the vast majority of people. I mean, people could drive around in a Leaf, which does 80, 90 miles in the real world, 70 to 80 in winter. Then it should be easy.
It will also, all Model 3s will come standard with autopilot hardware.
Now this for me is one of the reasons to get Tesla, the autopilot. Just basically, if you don't really know what it is, or if you've never actually seen it, Google or search on YouTube for Tesla Model S autopilot, and there's one from a channel called Car Throttle, which is probably the best one because it's in the UK, and basically the car drives itself on motorways, dual carriageways, and changes lanes, and the guy shows it happening. That's out now for the Model S. So the fact that the Model 3 comes with all the hardware built in is good. Now I expect, although it comes with the hardware, you're going to have to pay the optional extra to actually enable that, like you do the Model S. All cars come with the hardware built in. Whether or not you've paid to turn it on or not is another fact. Is another thing, you know. So I'm guessing at the moment it's going to be an optional extra is the autopilot, but that alone, for me, makes me want to buy one.
And all autopilot safety features will be present in every car. That you won't need to buy an option. The autopilot safety features will always be there. So,
see, the autopilot safety features are, from what you understand, is, you know, if a car dives out in front of you at last minute, the car will brake by itself. Not unique to Tesla, and other cars have that. But it says the safety features will be standard, not the convenience features, which is the autopilot driving on a motorway sort of thing. So that's what makes me think it's going to be optional.
The Model 3 also fits 5 adults comfortably. That comfortably is the important part here. Okay. On the front seats. That's what gives you the leg room to have 5 adults, and so that your first and second row have plenty of leg room. Then on the rear roof area is actually one continuous pane of glass, and the reason that's great is because it gives you amazing headroom and a feeling of.
Now, there's another video on YouTube for the people that actually got to sit in the cars after this that shows it a bit better, but again, no one knows if it's an optional extra or not. But basically, the front part above the front seats is like a big sunroof as normal, and then the entire back part to the back of the car is all glass. So almost like a moonroof, I suppose. So that you could potentially have an almost all glass roof, which will be almost like driving a drop top, I suppose. That should be quite interesting. I suppose it'd be interesting to sit in it, see what it's like.
Open. Then in addition, it has just like the Model S, it has a front and rear trunks.
So basically, again, I don't know if you're familiar with the Model S, for everyone that's watching this, but basically, because there's no engine as such, no big engine, you've got a front boot, or trunk as they're calling it, as well as the rear one. So you've basically got 2 boots. A bit of a smaller one at the front, bit of a, obviously the main one at the back. So that means you've got a lot more storage space. The Model S is huge, so I quite like that idea.
You can actually, somebody asked me this question recently, can you fit a 7-foot-long surfboard on the inside? The answer is yes, you can. Then with respect to supercharging, all Model 3s will come with supercharging standard.
Right, so the superchargers are the Tesla superchargers, what you probably see at service stations, where the Tesla pulls in and plugs in, and it can charge at a really fast rate, something like 150 miles in an hour, an hour's charge, something like that. I don't know the full figures. So basically every Model 3 will be able to use these superchargers. Now, again, they haven't said whether or not, like the Model S, it'll be free supercharging for life. Maybe if if you pay for that optional extra, because I believe it is still an optional extra, or it was at least on the Model S. I think it was £2,000 to access the superchargers, almost like a prepay. Now, some people have said that it may be the Model 3 will have access to the supercharging, as in capability, but you may have to pay to access them, like you probably will do for the Ecotricity ones sometime this year. So it may not be free supercharging, but you certainly will be a supercharging.
The superchargers are critical to that. So we're now at the point where we've built out over 3,600 superchargers worldwide. And about the same number of destination chargers. That's present day. By the end of next year, we will double the number of superchargers. And quadruple the number of destination chargers.
Right, so obviously if you're building a high volume car, there's going to be a lot more people accessing your charging network. So by the end of 2017, I don't know if you can see this, but basically they're going to double it to 7,200 superchargers worldwide. Now that's the amount of superchargers rather than supercharger sites, so obviously we don't know what's going to happen with that. The destination charges, again for those that are completely unfamiliar with this, is you charge when you get to your destination. So supermarkets, hotels, clubs, pubs, bars, that sort of thing. So you know, supermarkets, some have the standard charges now. So my guess is Tesla will be putting their own destination charges, so there won't be the rapid speeds of the super ones at supermarkets and whatnot. So it'll basically be you drive to the supermarket and plug it in because that's your destination. It's not a supercharger you use en route to your destination. It's a destination charger which won't be at the full rate because you'll be parking up for an hour or two or three. So it'll be probably. I mean, I asked the guy in store and he said that there'll be probably 22 kilowatt chargers. As an example, the ones that you get at your Asda's at the moment, the Polar ones that like Nissan Leafs and Zoes can access, that's 7 kilowatt. So 22 kilowatt destination charger will probably add about, I don't know, 20 miles, 30 miles in an hour. That's a total wild guess, I'm not sure, but it's can only be a benefit. So that's good.
So you will be able to go virtually anywhere. And in fact, because the onboard charger of the Model S is able to adapt to any country's voltage and amperage, wherever you go in the world, if there's electricity, you can charge. So.
Now that sounds a bit pointless, but it isn't really, because the one thing which stopped me taking the Leaf, other than the range into Europe, is that although you can charge at any of these points physically, you need a different card for all the different networks. So each country, you know, in this country, you need like 3-4 cards to access the charging network. And then you go to Europe, and there'll be each country might have their own 2 or 3, you know, companies that run the charge points. So you need basically a wallet full of cards to access all these different supercharger networks around Europe. With Tesla, it's their network across the world. So I could drive from here to anywhere in Europe and back again. And I wouldn't, and just know that I can plug the car in without any hassle. No cards, no fuss, no cost, maybe. So that is another benefit for me of Tesla over the competitors. The charging network, Tesla have their own. Nobody else does.
So then what about buying and servicing? So where we are today with Teslas, we've got 215 locations in Asia, North America, and Europe. And by the end of next year, we expect to more than double that to 441 locations. So
now, for me, I had to drive to about an hour and a half, if you forget traffic, to get to the Tesla store. There is one in Leeds which is closer to me, but I couldn't realistically drive in. It'd be a train sort of journey, which again, even because I'd have to use public transport, I'd probably take the same amount of time to get there. So the fact that they're doubling the amount of dealers, obviously we don't know how much of those will be in the UK, but I presume they'll be opening some more. That's probably a good thing, because at the moment they're only really in the major cities. You know, Manchester, Leeds have just got a sales store only, like a pop-up one. Knutsford, Cheshire, Edinburgh, Bristol, London. I don't know the full dealer network, but basically they're kind of dotted around. They're not very. It's not like a Volkswagen or Ford where they're in every city or in every town practically. The one thing I will say though is that again, we don't know about the Model 3, but when I was talking to the I think he was the manager at the Knutsford store, he said that you don't actually have to service the Model S. It is not a requirement of the warranty. It says they do a service package of sorts, but that's basically just a health check of the car. It doesn't service anything as such. So basically, he said that in the 8-year infinite mile warranty, you could choose not to get that car serviced by Tesla at all, and it will not affect the warranty. So suppose the having to go to Tesla for servicing every year is something which will be optional. You won't have to do that. It's not like you have to do it to keep there's no oil to change. There's, you know, he literally said there are 15 moving parts on the Model S and 5 of them are wheels. So, you know, steering wheel being the 5th. So there's nothing really to service, I guess, other than maybe brakes, I suppose, battery health check, but that's not kind of, you know, safety based. So if there's a warranty problem, then obviously you're going to have to drive back to one of these places. That's the only thing that I could think of that'd be an inconvenience if I had to go back, take one back to a dealer or a service centre. So yeah, they're obviously trying to plan ahead for this expansion, so hopefully they'll get one near where we live.
So when are deliveries? Well, they're next year. So I do feel fairly confident that it will be next year. Yeah.
Now this is kind of crucial because in the email that I got with after the reservation, and Andy's online as well, he's just said that it'll be available next year, end of 2017. Now the west coast of America is going to be first, I believe, then the east coast, then Europe and Asian Pacific regions, then right-hand drive. So for the UK, the end of 2017 for us will probably translate into the end of 2018, 2019. That is when we reckon that it'll be out in this country. If we're lucky, end of 2018, likely 2019. So if you are thinking about getting one, it's not going to be a quick thing. You will have plenty of time to save up, I suppose.
And then in terms of price, well, of course, it'll be $35,000.
Yeah, so that's kind of what they've said for a while now, the price. Now, that's before any government grant, I believe. So basically in this country, he already said about a month or two back that it will be below £30,000. So if we assume £30,000 for the base car, that will be before the government grant. Now the government grant for full electric cars is now £4,500. So assuming by 2019 or whenever it comes out, that is still there at that level, then in theory the car will start at £26,000 base model with no options. He said it'll be £30,000, no more than £30,000. So yeah, it'd be interesting to know if the government grant's still around by then and that. So fingers crossed.
So do you want to see the car? Yeah. Well, we don't have it for you tonight. I'm just kidding, of course. It's April Fool somewhere. All right, let's bring him out.
Let's get to the car. Come here. Excuse me, we've got an intruder. So let me know what you think, eh?
I wanted it to be a red car.
You want a red one?
Yeah.
We'll see. What do you think?
I love it.
Look at that. Okay, so this is the Model 3. I personally like the grey one. So obviously you can watch the full Tesla reveal yourself. It'll be much better quality, but it kind of looks like a smaller Model S is kind of what we expected, I suppose. I like it actually. You're going to have a number plate on the front, so I guess the front won't look as bulbous. Now, pay attention to when they swoop over one of these cars because you get a good shot of the interior, which I'll come to later with another video. And let's not forget, this is the first reveal of two main ones, so there's going to be other things that come out. So here we go. This is the interior. Now, one massive screen and no other physical dashboard buttons. There we go again. Now this is obviously a beta car, effectively, but this other video that's online basically shows people having the drive, and although it's not great quality, you can get like a bit better understanding of it. This massive screen in the middle, which I believe is 15-inch, will control the whole car. So there is no other buttons on the dashboard for operating the car. You know, the heater or it's all done by this touchscreen now. There's a lot of people online that are thinking that there's going to be some sort of projection HUD display on the windscreen for like your speedometer and whatnot. I mean, the speedometer, you can see it more in the next video, but there's a 0 at the top left corner of the screen in the car. That's where the speedometer is on when the people are actually physically in the car driving it after the reveal. I cannot see that staying there. It just doesn't. It's not good enough. There's got to be something else. So there's other things to come, I believe, in the next reveal, and this will be the interior. I think is what will probably get most of the attention next time. So now the benefit of this for those unfamiliar with Tesla is that because all controls are basically software based, it's completely upgradable, software upgradable. In the same way when you get a new version of Windows or iOS or OS X to make it better, Tesla can make their car better just with firmware updates, basically. So anything that's not right, they can just fix, rather than if someone doesn't like the physical placement of a switch, it's there for the life of the car. Whereas so that's, I think, another way of doing it. It also means that doing a right and left hand drive versions should be doddle, because basically it's almost a symmetrical interior from what I can gather. So yes, we'll have to wait and see until it's properly finished. At the moment, I'm more than happy with how that looks. And as an IT, I work in IT, but I'm a geek as well, basically. So I'd have no problems with that personally. I think it'll be great. I think the car looks very nice. So that's the Model 3 reveal. What are my final thoughts? I mean, obviously I've placed a deposit on the thing before I even saw it. So now I've seen what it's like. Am I happy or not? Yes, basically. I think the car is typically Tesla. If you think of the Model S, it's not a wow car. It's quite understated, I'd say. It's not a fantastic looking car. It's not a bad looking car. It's kind of, if someone didn't know anything about cars, like let's say my parents, they're not really interested in cars. So if they, if the Model S drove down the street as they were walking up, they wouldn't look at it like you would a Ferrari or something. It'd just be another car. It kind of goes by unnoticed almost, but it's not an ugly car. It's inoffensive, understated. I don't know what the best word is for it, but the Model 3 is kind of in that mold, really. It's not bad looking. It's not Ferrari type looking. It's not, wow, look, that's beautiful. It's a nice car. The interior looks very different as far as cars go. It's good. I like something different. That's what Tesla seem to do. They do different things, different ideas, things that they think are better. So I'm happy with how it looks. I mean, I'm not going to go on too much about the looks. Here we go again. Hello, you. Doing a video with kids isn't very easy. Anyway, yeah, the looks are completely in the eye of the beholder. So there's no point in me telling you it's really good or really bad. You make that decision for yourself. I do believe there is more to come in the interior. I think it's deliberately minimalistic because it'll make the car cheaper to make, easier to make, and there's very little to go wrong. So again, I think there's more to come with the interior. That won't be it. There's going to be some sort of HUD display or extra. There's going to be something different. The range is what we hoped it would be, above 200 miles and more. So I'm happy with that. Definitely happy with that. It'll be at least double of the new Leaf, I reckon. It's quick enough. I mean, sub 6 seconds to 60 is, like I says, new Golf GTI levels, and that's for the base model. So yes, it's going to be a quick car, even the cheapest version, which is good. I like quick cars, so that bit's good. The range is good. I quite like the car and how it looks. It'd be nice to see things in the flesh, of course, very different. There's a few people going online about the boot. It's a saloon style boot. Now again, there's a lot of people that have kind of poked apart the video and seem to think that the entire back glass bit will open up with the boot, kind of like the Skoda Superb, that, you know, whether the boot opens a little bit or the entire hatch opens. Again, until the major reveal, we won't really know for certain. So we'll hold off on that, because obviously saloon in this country are very popular. I prefer a hatchback to a saloon any day, but there's going to be a compromise with any car, and if that's the only compromise for Model 3, I'm happy with it. Supercharged capability, the autopilot functions, I mean, that's sold it for me. I'm happy with keeping my deposit where it is. The the idea of having a car that can do all that for the same price of a 3 Series BMW, I can't see them not selling it. I know people are a bit unsure with electric cars until, I mean, I've had one, so I'm familiar, and much less range, so I don't have that anxiety people will do, but I sincerely believe this will be the future. When my daughter buys her first new car in, who knows, 15 years, 20 years, I'm convinced it will be electric by then. Whether it's powered by hydrogen or hybrid or full, who knows? But basically, I'm convinced this is the way things are going in the car industry. I don't know how long it'll take, of course, but Tesla are definitely leading the pack with that. Now, as of, it's Sunday morning now, on the 2nd of April, and as of Sunday morning in the UK at least, they've had 235,000 pre-orders for the Model 3 worldwide. I haven't seen anything like this in the car industry. No car has ever had so many pre-orders, as far as I'm aware, and it's only been going 2 days. It won't be out for another 18 months in America, let alone in the world. So it's quite incredible. It's almost like when the original iPhone started coming out, with Steve Jobs doing the reveal and queues around the corner. I mean, go on YouTube, there were queues in American stores, you know, like 500 people queuing around the block. It's crazy. So I'm happy that I went in store and got in there at an early time. Whether or not it'll make a big difference to the actual delivery date, we'll see. Yeah, so have a look, see what you think. Google, put a deposit down if you fancy it. I suspect this will be the last video blog in this series for a while, because not much more will probably happen as far as revealing of the car goes. So unless something changes, I'm not going to do one every week regardless. I'm just going to do one when something happens. So I probably won't see as far as this series goes for a while. But as always, there are other videos in the channel based on the Leaf and dashcam stuff, so keep an eye on that. And thanks for watching, and keep fingers crossed. Hopefully I'll be watching this 3 years from now thinking, remember that? Remember when I just put the deposit down as I get the Model 3? So exciting stuff. I'm happy. Are you happy? Let me know please in the comments what you think of the Model 3, whether you've put a deposit down, whether you're thinking of putting a deposit down, and we'll have a bit of a chat. So yeah, I'll see you later.